And guess what? Week 52.
Two.
That's a year. If you add it all together back to back, that's a year.
That's
About a year.
exciting, isn't
Yeah,
it?
pretty good.
That's pretty cool. But of course, we did it across 2 years.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
why do things the normal way when you can
Exactly.
do them the day and age way?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess last time we were out of the Daintree,
Mm.
and now we've headed up to Cooktown.
Yes. So, but on the way, of course, we couldn't do the river crossing and go up the Bloomfield track. So we went around the longer way, which was a really beautiful drive.
Yeah.
Actually, I quite liked that drive. But we stopped in Lion's Den.
Yeah. Which was this sort of little out of the way pub south of Cooktown by about, I don't know, 20 k's.
Yeah.
And
so it wasn't far from
Cooktown. And it was awesome.
It was awesome. But how funny was it? So we turned up and there is like all these young people camping there. It was absolutely packed.
Yeah.
And we were a bit surprised by this because
it is like, other than Cooktown, which is not a big town,
there
was more people at Lions Den than there was actually in Cooktown. and so we thought, this is a bit strange. But then we found out there's a festival on.
Yeah, some kind of music
festival.
That was starting the next day.
Yep.
So everyone was camping at Lions Den Hotel that night.
Yep.
So, but the place went off then.
Oh, it was brilliant. Yeah,
so
great food. They had the a bluesy sort of, singer
there.
Julian James
performing. He was awesome. And then they had his mate Jack on the Bones playing the bones, which I'd never seen that.
Oh, Jack, he was a gun. Yeah,
he was a gun.
Well, hit the road, I've been gone so long, and I don't know if I'm coming home.
The funniest bit was watching you on the dance floor, though, amongst all the young, hip, beautiful people.
Well, yeah, I was. Yeah, look, sometimes it's good to go on the dance floor and give them a few pointers, a few tips, and I did that and tore it up.
You did. You tore it up.
Gents, warm up. Come on, here we go.
You tore something.
Tore something
anyway, up. Yeah. And then we went on into Cooktown. The history of Cooktown's really, really fascinating, and I'm very pleased to say they had amazing information boards in Cooktown. It's worth going just for that, wouldn't you say, Josh?
Yeah, a lot of information boards. So there's a lot of me just sort of milling around, waiting for Di to finish reading all about it. No, and that's good, keeps you amused.
Yeah. Can't remember anything that was on any.
No, you never can on any information boards.
But it is a really interesting place because it's where Captain Cook and
he did something.
Well, they went up there when the boat got stuck in the water, and so they had to go on shore for like 11 weeks or something while they got it fixed. And so that was his first sighting of a kangaroo.
I'll tell you what boat didn't get stuck.
The barbecue boat
that Ben and I navigated, and also the houseboat. There are two boats that have never got stuck due to expert captainage and navigation.
Okay, sure. So anyway, back to Cooktown.
Oh yeah, back to Cooktown.
We went up to the lighthouse. Beautiful views out across the
water,
the coast from there. Reconciliation Rock, that was really interesting.
Cool.
That's where Captain Cook and his men had been fighting with the local Aboriginal community, and so they all came together at Reconciliation Rock to kind of
air their grievances
and smooth away and
thrash it out, and they did that, and that was great.
Yeah, so. I mean, the way James Cook tells it, they thrashed it out and it was all okay. We're not sure what the local Aboriginal community actually thought.
Yep.
We also spent the night running around madly trying to, this is how long ago this was, trying to watch the final, Richmond
Grand final.
No,
not the grand final. It was
one of the earlier finals, and didn't succeed. And
we found it on, and then at quarter time that pub shut.
The pub was closing.
So we went down the road to the RSL and watched the second quarter, and at half time the RSL shut.
It's fair to say there's not a whole lot of nightlife.
Nothing was open. And that was, oh, it was the middle. It was about 9 o'clock.
There was also an NRL final on, so
But
a lot of the TVs had the NRL on. That was the other
Nothing.
issue.
There was nothing open. There was no TVs had anything on. Everything was shut. No one was out. No one was out about doing anything. Yeah. So so we went back and listened to it on the radio, and the result wasn't great. Richmond were robbed. But which put me in a somewhat testy mood.
Yeah.
And it was a windy night and not the right time for the young fella to attempt to break into our van whilst I was kind of halfway between sleep and awakeness. And first went to the driver's door, opened that. I didn't hear that. Then I heard something which later I worked out to be the opening of the passenger side door. What I actually did clearly hear and comprehend was the opening of the sliding door to the van, and at which point I kind of sat up, saw the sliding door open and thought, we haven't left the sliding door open, and then slid the door open and saw old mate there in his
hoodie,
t-shirt and hoodie, just looking
waiting
in the van to see if we'd actually woken up, at which point I leapt out of the van and he took off. I took off after him in bare feet on very sharp stones.
And your underpants. Somewhere in Cooktown.
Yeah. There's some footage of me bolting through Cooktown, chasing some guy in my underpants, which doesn't sound great. Let's be honest.
I bet the police play that
if you look at it,
and over again.
There's a couple of ways you can look at that. Yeah. Anyway, he took off. He outran me, which I gave a good chase for a bit. But anyway, he didn't come back.
No, he didn't come back. He had tried to get into another van in there. So our recommendation, if you're staying in Cooktown,
definitely lock
your van.
Which
is probably
and especially
a good piece of advice anywhere.
In any caravan park, if it's really windy, it's a good time for crooks to come out and try and break in because you can't hear stuff. So it's windy, but lock your van, even if you're in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
then we went on from, we also had a look around the Botanic Gardens in Cooktown, which someone had recommended to us. They were okay. I did prefer Cairns Botanic Gardens.
Okay, interesting.
They were beautiful, but anyway, each to their own. And my preference was for Cairns. Not wanting to compare them, but because they were both beautiful.
Oh, Cairns is a much bigger city.
City.
And we got some other great advice from the manager of the caravan park there, and that's a great caravan park. Don't get me wrong, that caravan park is awesome. The manager and the managers, the husband and wife that manage it, were fantastic and so apologetic and that. But anyway, there's a pool, there's a great kitchen facilities.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really nice, right in the heart of town. Well, let's be honest, everything's probably not far from the heart of town,
walking distance.
But they were really good. But one of the things they told us about was this Lakefield National Park. They said if you're heading north, don't go the normal the main road up. Go up through Lakefield National Park.
Yep.
Well, that was
which is also
awesome. Ringaroo, traditional owners Ringaroo National Park. Absolutely magic.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
And we were the only campers. One of the only campers there. There were a few other people came through, but not many.
But on the way up, we went through Isabella Falls.
Yep.
And when I say through, I mean through because it crosses the road.
Causeway,
but it's not a hard. It's
just causeway. It's only a few inches deep.
You could walk through it as well.
But that was really nice.
That was beautiful. Yep. The waterfall, really, really nice. So we stopped there for a little while. Ringaroo. We got the drone out. That's pretty exciting. So you can see exactly where we were in our little van.
Yep. We were camped right on, what was it, Han River
Crossing. Yeah.
We came through, we passed, what was the water hole, the blowhole thing?
Catfish
blowhole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was quite nice.
Yeah.
But where we camped there on Han Crossing was beautiful. And all along the river there, again, we were, in the duty of full disclosure, we were looking for crocs. Because we heard the crocs cruise up and down the river, and we camped fairly close to the river.
I was really nervous.
At this point, I'm beginning to doubt. I'm beginning to doubt.
You
It's fair to say.
You were doubting in Cairns.
I was
that there were any
doubting. Yeah,
crocodiles.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
we looked, didn't we?
We
Every,
looked
every
up and down
water,
the river.
every
We
river,
drove kilometres and kilometres.
Didn't see any.
No.
Luckily, we saw so many last year in the Northern
Well,
Territory.
even I took a nice little wash in the
I did too.
yeah
In the river.
in the river there. Mind you,
It
to be
was a
honest,
safe
it was the
area.
causeway, so
was
we
a
were on the concrete causeway. So
Yeah. There were
as
no
much as
crocodiles
I'm
there.
fairly convinced there's no crocs, I'm not so bold as to jump into the water and
we
test
weren't
that.
gonna, no,
Yeah.
no. There were areas there was no way we were going into. White Lily Lagoon.
Yeah.
That was my favourite bit. That was really pretty. I reckon if you were there when all the lilies are
Was it
out.
prettier than Red Lily Lagoon?
Red Lily Lagoon. Did I say White Lily? Red
No,
Lily.
there is a
Oh,
White
there
Lily.
is. There was both, wasn't
Yeah,
there?
there's two lagoons.
There are too.
Yeah, there are. One might assume there's red lilies in one and white lilies in the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
They
quite
were-
that clear cut.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
the
don't recall.
lilies weren't really out.
No,
so
the
when
lilies
we
weren't
were-
out. So they were all green.
so-
It was, both of them were Green Lily Lagoon.
but it looked
It was
looked
beautiful. It was lovely, peaceful.
Looked absolutely.
Yeah, some
absolutely
nice water
beautiful.
birds and that around. It was lovely. Like if you're into birds and that birding and stuff,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like little kingfishers and all that around. There's
Yeah.
lovely bird life
It was
around
so
there.
weird,
There's
didn't we?
kites and
What was the buzzard that we chased up the road? 'Cause-
we didn't chase it. He was just running in front of the car. We would, hoping that at some point he'd veer off the road. It was like in Africa they got the Corey bustard. This
Yeah.
was the one assuming
Some kind of
Aussie bustard
yeah,
or something.
We'll
yeah.
call him the Cooktown.
They look
Bustard.
very similar. Cooktown bustard and the Corey bustard
Yeah.
from Kenya.
Look
Quite,
very similar.
quite similar.
It was funny
Yeah.
watching him run up the road.
Yeah.
Old Breezer Homestead. That was a little.
We stopped
little
there and we had a little bit of lunch,
It was a
didn't
nice
we?
spot. Yeah.
Nice spot.
It was a
Nice.
nice
It was
spot. You're on a lake there, so you can have,
Again,
have a little look.
lake. Looking for crocodiles.
No crocs.
No crocs. So yep.
And the homestead's not really a homestead. It's really just a shed. So you can go inside the shed, but it really just looks like a shed.
Yeah.
And there.
But,
no
but you're not there
information.
you're not there for homesteads and sheds. You're there to be out in
Yeah,
nature.
but I like to have
And
a
it
look.
was
They
nature.
say
The
it's on
stars
the
were out
sign.
during the night. It
Oh,
was
stars were
the-
amazing.
the weather was. It was
sunset.
warm, but it wasn't
Yeah.
super hot, was it? So
Yeah.
it wasn't unbearable.
Yeah. The
We still
sunset-
that splash around in the sunset was awesome,
Was awesome.
and the splash
That was
around
beautiful.
in on the causeway there was very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Yep.
but I highly recommend Lakefield National Park.
Good spot.
And so that's kind of really
That's
roughly
it.
52 week. That was week 52.
52. Yep.
Because we were
That's
there
it.
for about 4 nights and 3 nights at Cooktown, yeah.
That's it.
So, yeah, all right. Well, we'll see you at week 53.
See you next week.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.